I'm Nat.
And I'm Kat, and welcome to the CrimeChat. I'm your forensic femme fatale, Natalie is your true crime addict connoisseur.
Just two normal girls who obsess about dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
Yes, we do.
That's where we get into trouble.
A disclaimer, today, chatters, the following crime chat contains adult content and descriptions of maybe, I don't know what your story is, so maybe violent scenarios. Either way, your listener discretion is advised as always.
Then before we get into today's crime chat, Kat, what have you done and where are you? You look like you're sitting in a bowl of Vaseline.
Can you see the aura around me?
Well, normally you have like something going on behind you.
I know you've got something going behind you today.
I felt
so
pinky.
You're pulling one through for the crime chat team today.
Yes.
I blurred my background because I'm in a hotel. So crime chat doesn't stop. Crime chat goes on the road. We've done this before. And I'm on location with a quick job. I've just been busy and just like crazy working. The only cool thing that I have done this week is I was in Barnes and Noble while I was out and about.
Okay.
Oh
wait.
No, it's blurring.
Wait. I see murder. All right. True crime casebook. Murder.
It says history's most infamous cases and the people who solved them.
Oh, okay.
So it does have a couple stories in here.
Right.
Let me flip through that we've covered. So St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yes,
check.
That was a good one. Check.
John Benet Ramsey.
Check.
Kathleen Peterson.
Check.
Other ones we've talked about, like we talked about Oscar Pistorius. Remember the double amputee Olympic runner? We talked about how he killed his girlfriend, fiance,
on Valentine's Day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there's also one in here that is on my to-do list. Kitty Genovese.
Yes, that's a good one. Isn't that one from New York?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you know it was after her murder is when the United States established the 911 system?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Another one in here that I was interested in is the mysterious murder of William Desmond Taylor. It's the very first one in this book. And I was like, ooh, and that's what got me. I was like, sold.
Okay.
Thanks, Barnes and Noble. Business
and personal murder is always involved. We probably need some help, but it's okay.
That's fine. Last week was heavy.
Oh yeah, last week was very heavy. Oh my God, that was a super crime chat link. Also, like that was a real. I mean, I don't know how much you want to talk about it, but like somebody personally involved, somebody's family who's personally involved. The family, it has been so gracious with saying like, let's get the story out. Let's, get as many people speaking about her as possible. Yeah. She should be remembered. She needs to be remembered.
She's just appeared to be such a sweetheart. So chatters, if you haven't gone back to listen to the murder of Catherine Devine, our last episode, and then the bonus material that we did with my friend, then check that out. Check it out.
Yes. What else have you done besides travel to Virginia? And
nope.
That's it.
That's it.
Work.
I fall asleep to Forensic Files.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay.
And so I've just been so busy. I haven't really had much time. But you know what? Mama got to work.
That's right. Mama's got
the money.
The bacon. You got to bring home the bacon.
The pig farm killer.
Yes.
What about you? What have you been up to? I feel like we haven't talked. So
I know, because we had 1 week off.
Yeah.
Like besides researching cases, and it's ironic. The funny part is like I had a different case that I was going to do today.
Yeah.
I'm going to push it back a little bit because it's really not so much a case, but it's really a discussion. After last week's crime chat, I just felt like it was so dark and it was so horrible that I figured this week, why don't we do something a little bit lighter?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about a little bit more of the heroes. So I was researching this story, and as gritty and horrible as it is, there's no murder. No, which is good. There's no murder this time. This time there's heroes. So I watched the Pope's Exorcist. Have you seen that?
No.
So that's the new. Okay, so
like the Exorcist type of series, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's a movie. It's out in the movie theaters now. It has Russell Crowe in it.
Oh, okay.
From Gladiator. He's still a hot man. I'm not saying it's not a good movie. It is a good movie. It's good. But once you've seen The Exorcist, you really can't shock us. Like, there's nothing you're gonna do that's gonna be like, oh my God,
Oh, that's new.
That I have been shocked about, that I got hooked on, which has nothing to do with murder or crimes.
Gasp.
I got hooked on 90 Day Fiance.
Oh no, you fell into the hole.
Girl. Oh my God. This shit that happens. Oh my God. So yeah, I branch off from murder and go straight into the drama.
Well, your story, you did mention there's no murder in it, but you did tell me it was a kidnapping, and it was something that I don't know that I've ever heard of. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just do something like, write a little bit about kidnapping. So according to Encyclopedia Britannica, kidnapping is a criminal offense consisting of the unlawful taking and carrying away of a person by force or by fraud, or the unlawful seizure and detention of a person against their will. So that's kind of what Encyclopedia Britannica describes kidnapping as. But in November, I found this article in November of 2022, People magazine wrote an article on the most famous kidnappings throughout history. And I'm going to talk about 5 of them. One of them is the Lindbergh baby. Okay. So the first one, Amber Hagerman. Does that sound familiar? It will. The crime could scarcely have been more horrific. In January 1996, 9-year-old Amber Hagerman of Arlington, Texas, was kidnapped by an unknown man who forced her off her bike and into his black pickup truck. Her kidnapping and killing have never been solved. Convinced that more coordinated response to child abductions could save lives, media broadcasters and Dallas-Fort Worth police devised a rapid warning system and named it the Amber Alert. Okay. Yeah. Delivered over the media, but these alerts are also sent to your cell phones. They've gone off on my cell phone. They've gone off on yours, I'm sure, too. Yeah.
They go off on cell phones that aren't even hooked up anymore.
True statement.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Patty Hearst. The heiress, Patty Hearst, then 19, was kidnapped in 1974 from her apartment in Berkeley, California, by a group calling themselves the Symbionese Liberation Army, or SLA. The SLA, labeled a domestic terrorist group by the FBI at that time, wanted to wage a war against the government and take down the quote-unquote capitalist state. Within 2 months of her capture, SLA released a video with Patty Hearst saying she joined their cause. Soon after, she was seen leading a bank robbery. Hearst said she had been abused, threatened, and brainwashed, but at the time there was no legal precedent for an acquittal due to such manipulation. She was sentenced to 7 years in prison and served 2 years before her sentence was commuted by then President Jimmy Carter, and then President Bill Clinton later pardoned her during his administration. The Lindbergh baby, Charles Lindbergh Jr. It was around 9 p.m. on March 1st, 1932, when first fears were fulfilled when the couple's golden-haired 20-month-old baby, Charles Jr., was taken from his crib in their home in Hopewell, New Jersey. This was near the John List event. Do you remember?
Okay, yes.
So the John List event that we talked about in that episode is the second most popular of that area, second to the Lindbergh incident. And a ransom was eventually paid, though Charles Jr., baby Charles, was never returned. On May 12th, 1932, this was 2.5 months after he was kidnapped, his body was found in a shallow grave a few miles away from the home. This one, I did not know. Frank Sinatra Jr.
Yes.
Okay. Barry Keenan was in a haze, flying to the moon under booze and Percodan when he recalled indelibly a night of December 8th, 1963. He went to a Lake Tahoe, Nevada hotel and kidnapped Frank Sinatra Jr. Frank Sr. paid the $240,000 ransom, which FBI agent dropped off in Los Angeles between two parked school buses. Before Keenan went to go pick up the money, he panicked and released Frank Jr. At his trial, Keenan portrayed that the crime was a publicity stunt to help Frank Jr. like boost his career. The jury didn't buy it.
Right.
But the lie did still linger apparently in public memory. And after Frank Jr.'s safe return, most of the ransom was recovered, and Keenan and two of his accomplices got life sentences, a term that was later reduced for technical reasons. It was commuted to like 12 years, but he was paroled after 4. I would say one of the very, very, very top, Adam Walsh. He was 6 years old on July 27th, 1981, when he was abducted while shopping with his mother, Reeve Walsh, at a mall near their home in Hollywood, Florida. Leaving him alone in the toy department, Reeve returned about 10 minutes later to discover that Adam had vanished. 2 weeks later, she and her husband, John Walsh, flew to New York City to plea on Good Morning America for Adam's safe return. Later that day, the Walshes were in their hotel room when Hollywood police called them with the grim news. That morning, 2 fishermen found a head bobbing in a canal in Vero Beach, Florida. John gave up his job as a hotel executive to lobby full-time for passage of a 1982 act that mandated immediate investigation of any child reported missing. 2 years later, another John-backed bill established the nonprofit NCMEC, what we call it today, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. By sharing this database with the FBI and police, NCMEC has helped locate tens of thousands of vanished kids. John also became the host of the long-running TV show America's Most Wanted and helped find the murderer, John List.
Yes. Yeah.
So those are just like kind of some of the top most famous kidnapping, and your story is going to be about a kidnapping, but it's a little bit lighter. No murder, right?
No murder, but
no murder.
So today's case, it had the potential to be probably one of the worst.
Oh no, why are we talking about this? I thought it was going to be lighter.
It turns out good. It does turn out good.
Okay.
It starts with a bunch of bad guys, but there's a hero that develops here, and in the end, so today's case, I'm sorry guys, there's no murder. Sorry, Kat, no murder.
It's okay.
This crime chat is going to be about the biggest, most brazen abductions in American history. Chowchilla School Bus Kidnapping, where 26 kids were buried alive.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Right.
You say Chowchilla, it reminds me of like chinchilla.
We'll have a picture
of a chinchilla.
So on July 15th, 1976, around 4.
That's my anniversary, July 15th. Definitely not 1976, but.
Okay, no. In the town of Chinchilla, California, 26 kids from the Dairyland Elementary School jumped on their bus to head home. Now, the school bus driver who took them there, his name was Frank Edward Ray. He was friendly. He was a good guy. Everybody in the community said that he was kind and he really cared for his kids that were on his routes. As Ed drove down the road, ahead was a split in the road and he continued down the right side. Ed stopped the bus sharply. It was a white utility van blocking the road ahead of them.
Okay.
Within seconds, 3 men jumped out of the van, all wearing pantyhose over their faces.
Sorry. I know. Never understood that. I guess just because it gives you like a squish nose and like weird eyes and like.
2 of them had pistols. One of them had a sawed-off shotgun. The second guy stood in front, yelling and pointing the gun at the kids, saying, "Stay seated and be quiet." He then walked to the front of the bus. He got into the driver's seat and he started to drive down the road. Now, they were at this point followed by the white van, and this entire plan is now in action.